Since the fall of Gwinnett Martha, his heirs joined the organization around Rico the Chilean, with the stated goal of eliminating all those who get in their way. Rico is the head of a group that works in various compositions, with specific missions. One of them is to hunt the rivals of the group around Hose, while the other is to make the old underworld understand that a new order is coming. Anas, alias Bololo, is a familiar face in Amsterdam. The man is perceived as the new financial director of the Hose team, which unequivocally explains his presence on the blacklist. It appears from the messages exchanged between the heirs of Gwinnett that they do not want to put more than 100,000 euros on the head of Bololo, because the priority should be put on other well-known personalities of the rival camp.
There is no way we're giving more than 100 for this bole. To be honest, what's so hard about this guy? What do you think?
Finally, the project materializes in October 2015, when the group lets Roderick manage the action, who himself recruits a young soldier nicknamed Jaguar to do his duties. The latter is positioned on a bridge near the sports hall, waiting for Bololo to leave the room to shoot him. With Jaguar in place, the others communicate remotely. For example, Ilias has a friend inside the sports hall who keeps him informed of what is going on there, and that is how the team knows that the target does not use a vehicle but walks home. It's getting late, and the man in the tracksuit can go out at any time. At the same time, Ilias's friend has already left, while telling him that Bololo is still inside.
Wait a little longer and then leave.
Eventually, the plan turns into a failure, which angers the whole team. Indeed, Jaguar claimed to be able to see everything from the bridge, but according to Surali, the reality is quite different.
You can't see anyone on this bridge to bump off. You can't see anyone coming out of there.
So he gave Roderick the message that if Jaguar wants to work, he has to do it seriously and not do such bullshit which slows down the group. What you have to understand is that several units of Rico's group are trying to get rid of Bololo. A few weeks later, another attempt failed again. Apparently, one of Rico's henchmen, Issam, was riding with the target on a scooter.
Brother, just so you know, they were going to shoot that Bololo the other day, but you were on the back of his scooter, right?
No, I haven't seen him for a while.
In any case, Rico makes Issam understand that next time, the executors will not hesitate. We can notice that members of different camps can be historically friendly, so much so that the Mocro War evolves very quickly in Amsterdam. On the other hand, this very lucky Bololo will unintentionally start a downward spiral for Rico's group until ramifications with Ireland are revealed. Let's go back to August 2015. Our man spends his time in the shisha lounge Feyrouz in Amsterdam, known to be a meeting place of his group. However, what he doesn't realize is that there is a police team that stays around, and when Bololo leaves this place and gets on his scooter, he is under close observation. At the same time, the detectives notice a Fiat 500 parked on the parallel road, with two occupants staring in the direction of the scooter. When Bololo starts, then the Fiat does the same, all lights off, following the same route as their potential target at a distance of about 200 meters. A few minutes later, the Fiat turns on its headlights and comes closer and closer to the scooter. And when the latter runs a red light, the Fiat does the same. Given that according to an official TCI report of 2014, there is a threat to the life of Bololo, the observation team decides to warn their colleagues. for an imminent evacuation of the occupants of the Fiat and for an unannounced traffic control to take place. In the car are Atif and Kio, who are already well known to the police. With Atif's authorization, the police search the Fiat and find, among other things, a pair of black gloves, a black cap, and a moped license plate. After the control, which did not really pay off, nothing stops the occupants of the Fiat, who continue on their way. However, later in the evening, it is determined that the license plate of the moped is from a theft. Therefore, a few hours later, the Fiat is stopped again. It's clear that the team is up to something, especially since their previous very suspicious attitude. The police then decide to keep a closer eye on the driver Atif, this time by secretly placing geolocation equipment in the Fiat, as well as initiating a new investigation. This hunch will pay off this time. It appears that Atif and Kio are soldiers who work closely with Knofel, and the next target on the list is Peter, aka Piotr, part of the older generation. The first key element of the police observations appear in October, when a Volkswagen Polo parks next to the Fiat 500. Atif and Karim get out of the Polo. Atif takes a coat out of the Fiat, after which the duo settle in the Polo. In the driver and co-driver seat, there are already Gennaro and Kio. Indeed, it should be understood that the squad recruited for the mission of Peter's liquidation is usually composed of 5 people: Atif and Kio as shooters, Karim as the driver, and Gennaro with Alejandro as spotters, who meticulously map Peter's life and keep Atif informed of his location. To do this, the 2 spotters stuck a geolocation beacon under Peter's Opel Antara, which allows to observe his position in real time. From November onwards, the intensity of the preparations for the mission began to increase.
What time will I see you tomorrow, brother?
8:30.
The 2 protagonists meet near the Amsterdam South Station and report it to Atif.
What does his phone give?
We're going to see now. I'll send you an email in a minute. Yo, this car is in the north.
From the decoded messages, it appears that Peter's car is in the north. A few hours later, however, he went to the IKEA store in the vicinity of Belmir. Knofel wants to be kept informed about the development of the operation.
What's going on?
He drove to IKEA in Belmar. He was in this parking lot, and we drove around.
Knofel is getting impatient and wants the mission to end as soon as possible.
Ewa, bro?
Alejandro explains to him that Peter left towards the south of Amsterdam, whereas normally he goes to his personal residence in Diemen Noord this day.
But from IKEA, why not? So why?
This angers Knofel, for whom the executors should have taken action when Peter went from IKEA to the south, to which Alejandro explains that Diemen Noord is a better choice because
At IKEA, you had a lot of police.
the same evening, Atif communicates with the driver Karim.
Tomorrow, wherever we meet him, he's going to die. And yeah, old man must be finished by now. I see you at 7 o'clock.
Sure. Let's do the old one. Tomorrow it has to be this. See you later.
The next morning, Atif, Karim and Kio go with their Fiat 500 to a hangar to bring out the Volkswagen Golf, which will be used as a getaway car. One of the spotters informs Atif that Peter has just moved from his residence.
Brother, he's moving.
So that day, Atif is in contact with Alejandro several times to know which location indicates the beacon under Peter's car. Indeed, the protagonists want to impersonate the police and make a stop sign on the road. However, Peter took another turn at the last minute. Knopfel finds this incredible. This way, the plan has to fail again. His irritation is starting to rise, which is clearly evident in the messages.
But if he was next to you, you could have driven in front of him, right?
Knopfel even cynically mentions that the target doesn't drive a ferry either, in reference to a Ferrari, so they should have been able to neutralize him easily. Finally, Knopfel, who is in Ireland, will take advantage of the same workforce for a much easier mission in Eindhoven.
We have to be at the station Eindhoven for 6:30.
The mission consists of a money transfer to Ireland. Karim and Atif are waiting for a woman who is supposed to receive money and fly it to Dublin. She is late.
Maybe she can't count. Here's a chick who's walking. Is that her?
The suspects finally meet the woman and give her the 3,000 euros she is supposed to bring to Knopfel in Ireland. According to the messages, she is supposed to make the trip from the 5th to the 7th by the route Eindhoven-Dublin. After the appointment, it seems that the woman lets her friend know that she no longer wants to go.
I don't want to go anymore. I discovered something.
It is interesting to note that the woman so far was not aware that Knopfel was the recipient of the money. Indeed, Knopfel pretended to be someone else thanks to his false papers. It was a day before the flight that she realized that the date of birth on Knopfel's Belgian driver's license seemed incorrect. Nevertheless, this did not prevent her from taking off to Dublin the next day, as demonstrated by an automatic text message received with the "Welcome to Ireland." Furthermore, according to the information received from Ryanair, a flight was indeed booked online for the dates mentioned above, and the passenger list proves that the woman was on board this flight on November the 5th. On the same day, November the 5th, another mission is going on, the one related to Peter. The group gets ready. They take back the polo from the warehouse and wait for the green light from the spotters, who guide them in the liquidation mission. Peter goes to a house in Diemen. He would have gone to take his mother home, after having dropped her off at the hospital some time before. Alejandro delivers a message to Atif.
Now he has to get to that house.
We already see him.
Indeed, the trio is already in place and is only waiting for Peter to leave the house. Peter walks to his car, sits down, and when he turns the key in the ignition, Atif and Keo, wearing black coats, start shooting at him. In response, Peter starts off and drives straight ahead, on the sidewalk and through the bushes towards the ditch. After the attack, the two men run back to the polo, and the driver Karim starts off at high speed. Of 34 bullets fired, 6 hit the target. Peter, seriously injured, is taken to the hospital where he miraculously survives. A few hours after this action, the Volkswagen Golf was found in a parking lot in Amsterdam. It is taken under observation by the detectives in case the protagonists come back. In addition, the images from the parking lot camera from 12:41 show the two shooters walking away from the car, followed by Karim. Knopfel asks the spotter Alejandro, aka Rambo, if everything went well.
I'm going to see the others later. They are in this house in Belmar. It's fucking hot in the street. They normally got rid of him, but I don't know if he's sleeping or not. I heard lots of ambulance and cops.
Finally, it follows that same evening, Rambo decides to go to the parking lot to see what's going on with the polo. Since he doesn't know where the car is exactly, then the other suspects, including Atif, show it to him, before leaving him there alone. However, near the parking lot, Atif's team immediately flees when they hear the police sirens. Atif warns Rambo straight away, who is still in the parking lot.
Come back, brother.
However, it is too late and Rambo is arrested. Atif informs Knopfel of the arrest.
They stripped away Rambo, and we also got rid of all phones.
Knopfel wants to know exactly what happened.
We went to show Rambo this garage. He was watching, and suddenly we heard the police. We all three moved away from Rambo.
The goal was to show the car to Rambo.
Otherwise, we wouldn't have gone together.
How many times I told you not to do everything together? How many times? Oh, dirty motherfucker. How often? We have PGPs. Why? What did you have to show him dirty?
Atif states that the plan was to remove the car and burn it a little later. Yet, according to Knopfel, they should have done so directly so as not to leave any evidence. The atmosphere becomes really tense.
Well, oh my daughter, if you keep something and I find out later, on the head of my dear mother, my sister, and my daughter, you are responsible.
That evening, Atif and Karim get into the Fiat 500, which, for their misfortune, has just been secretly equipped with a sound recording system 2 days before. Karim makes sure that the getaway vehicle is clean in itself and that he has not touched anything else.
I'm more worried that this fucking target is still alive.
We just shouldn't have brought him down today.
A doubt concerning the camera of the parking lot appears for Karim.
But I don't really insist on that either. I had a cap and these things and my vest. They can only see my silhouette. What do they want to do with it?
Finally, the two talk about removing a stolen Audi from a warehouse the next day.
Tomorrow, this Audi must get rid of it.
Yeah.
This Semtex and these vests, everything.
Yeah, that's shit with me too, right?
Yeah, everything has to go tomorrow.
However, they still will not have time to do so, as the police are faster. Later, during the search, the police discovered the famous Audi with a briefcase in the trunk containing 2.2 kilograms of Semtex. Even if the operation is over, it takes a little longer to get to the big fish because, as is often the case, they are looking to wash their hands as quickly as possible. It appears that 6 days after the attempt to liquidate Peter, Knopfel is informed via a relative of the development of the case.
They have a great chance of being convicted. Now, we already see 12 to 15 years, but there may be other links to them through weapons and cars, beacons and so on. It's not clear at this point, but it seems that the police have been at work for some time. If he can get more information from somewhere, he will let me know right away.
This same message is forwarded to Rico, who in turn forwards it to Issam, whom he instructs to send a PGP phone to the lawyer of one of the arrested shooters.
Yo, you need to talk to the lawyer when possible and give him codes and emails, brother.
Okay. Are you okay tomorrow?
Brother, is everything good there?
Yeah, I'm gonna call that lawyer and see where he is.
Okay, brother, right now.
He doesn't answer. He'll certainly call back.
A day later, an appointment goes rather badly.
This lawyer should have been given something by someone. Okay, so it went wrong. I'm going to let these guys call this lawyer. Okay.
Yes, that lawyer who'd gone to Starbucks had been waiting for you there for half an hour. You stopped answering.
Brother, please send me the number of this lawyer and his name, okay?
It is clear from the messages that Rico has a great interest in the lawyer receiving this phone. Indeed, it is a way to have a direct communication link with the suspects in custody. As a result, more than a month later, Rico asks Issam for more information about the money he allegedly received.
Brother, check your PGP on the date of November between the 7th and the 11th. If you have money from somebody, please.
No, So I didn't get any money. I didn't start until I gave this lawyer.
However, there are still financial notes in Issam's phone that mention specific amounts for the lawyers.
So, from the moment these guys were caught, I got 10,000 to give to the lawyer.
Finally, the omerta is so strongly anchored in the entourage that everyone invokes the right to silence, which allows sponsors to continue to pull the strings.